sharp buzz of a secure phone shattered the silence inside President Ibrahim Traoré's bedroom. He sat up instantly. Only 5 people in the entire military had access to that number. He answered. "Traoré." A calm but urgent voice replied. "Sir, this is Major Sankara. Our surveillance picked up unauthorized movement at Camp Connor. General Doumbié has mobilized the 3rd Battalion. They're advancing toward the palace." Traoré rose from bed and moved to the window. In the distance, under the cover of darkness, he saw the faint outlines of armored vehicles moving. Headlights dimmed. "How far?" he asked, already strategizing. "About 15 minutes from the outer perimeter. The Presidential Guard has been alerted, but Doumbié has allies among them," Traoré finished grimly. "There's been no response from the other battalions, sir." The silence was deafening. Either they were complicit, or they had already been neutralized. General Maurice Doumbié, a man Traoré once called a brother, his closest ally from their academy days, the very man he had elevated to Chief of Defense Staff, was staging a coup. "Implement Protocol Omega," Traoré ordered, a contingency plan only his innermost circle knew existed. "I'll meet you at the extraction point in 10 minutes. Meanwhile, 3 days earlier, Colonel Ouedraogo, head of intelligence, had slid a folder across the president's desk with reluctant hands. "Sir, we've intercepted troubling communications," he said. Inside were transcripts, calls between Doumbié and operatives from the French Foreign Intelligence Service. They were discussing regime change and new economic policies, ones that reversed Ibrahim Traoré's nationalization reforms. "How reliable?" Ibrahim Traoré asked. "Multiple sources confirm it. They've promised Doumbié the presidency, backed by France. In return, he's agreed to reinstate foreign mining concessions and reopen Western military bases." The warning had been clear. They move in 3 days. Traoré grabbed a secure satellite phone, an encrypted thumb drive, and a compact pistol. Then, using a hidden corridor that linked his quarters to a nearby service exit, he slipped out undetected. A plain sedan waited in the alley. Major Sankara sat behind the wheel. Traoré entered silently. "Update," he requested. "Doumbié is leading the operation himself. 200 soldiers from the 3rd Battalion. They've seized the national radio station and are surrounding key government sites." "And our countermeasures?" Phase 1 completed. Colonel Ouedraogo activated the sleeper network last night. Traoré allowed himself a brief nod. Phase 1, the replacement of the 3rd Battalion's live ammunition with blanks and duds, had been quietly carried out 2 days ago under the guise of routine inventory. The car pulled into an underground garage on the city's outskirts, a secret operations hub known only to his most trusted staff. Inside, screens showed live troop movements, intercepted communications, and the French embassy's unexpected late-night activity. Colonel Ouedraogo approached with a tablet. "Doumbié has entered the palace. He'll realize soon that you're not there." "And the French?" Traoré asked. "A private jet landed an hour ago. Heavy encrypted comms. They're involved, just as we expected." Traoré addressed the room. "This is not just a military coup. It is foreign-backed regime change. Doumbié is no patriot. He is a puppet for those who never accepted our sovereignty." His words landed with weight. Silence fell. "We will not only defeat this coup, we will expose it." Meanwhile, inside the palace, Doumbié walked with confidence. The Presidential Guard had barely resisted. Some even joined his forces. "Search the residence. I want Traoré alive," he ordered. A broadcasted resignation would lend his takeover legitimacy. But his radio buzzed. "General, the president is gone. No trace." Doumbié frowned. Unexpected, but not catastrophic. "Expand the search. Prep the broadcast." We proceed. As dawn broke, Ouagadougou was eerily silent. Streets empty, soldiers at checkpoints. At 6 a.m., the radio crackled with a formal announcement. This is the National Committee for Salvation. The military has assumed temporary control. Remain calm. Stay indoors. Back at the command center, Traoré listened. They're moving fast, Ouedraogo observed. The French are pushing him. Is the evidence ready? Traoré asked. Ouedraogo handed him a flash drive. Everything. Calls, emails, offshore transfers. It's all there. Distribute it, Traoré ordered. Broadcast, social media, community leaders, everywhere. He turned to Colonel Zongo and Colonel Kabore, commanders of the 1st and 4th Battalions. Positions confirmed. Yes, sir, they replied in unison. Minimal force, Traoré reminded. We want arrests, not martyrs. Across the city, a quiet but devastating counter-operation began. 3rd Battalion soldiers, unaware their ammunition had been sabotaged and their comms compromised, found themselves encircled by loyalist units. At the same time, citizens began receiving messages, leaked documents, voice notes, photos, proving Doumbié's alliance with French operatives and his personal enrichment. The evidence was damning. At the French embassy, Ambassador Jean-Marc Lefebvre watched nervously from a window. Crowds were forming. Protesters were holding phones, waving documents. "Get me Doumbié," he barked, "and contact Paris. We have a problem." At the palace, Doumbié's world was falling apart. His troops reported ammo shortages, equipment failures, encirclement. One officer spoke quietly. "Sir, your communications with the French, they're circulating online." Panic set in. When Colonel Zongo approached under a white flag, Doumbié's men began lowering their weapons. "You're surrounded," Zongo informed. "Your general betrayed this nation. You have 10 minutes to stand down." The 3rd Battalion surrendered without a fight. Traoré received the update. "It's done, sir," said Ouedraogo. "Doumbié's forces have collapsed. He's asking for terms." "Bring him to the National Stadium," Traoré said. "Full security. No humiliation. We'll question him live, before the people." By noon, the stadium was packed. Traoré and Doumbié sat facing each other. No fanfare, just truth. "For 15 years we served together," Traoré began. "Today you tried to remove me." "Why?" Doumbié replied bitterly. "Your path isolates us. Your alliances with Russia and China. You've cut off Western aid. I did what I had to. And that led you to sell our sovereignty to foreign spies?" Traoré gestured to the screen. Evidence of meetings, payments, betrayal? Doumbié's silence was heavy. "I have one question," Traoré said. "At what point did you decide our future belonged in Paris? Not here?" Doumbié looked up, defeated. "You don't understand. Governing isn't ideals. It's survival. The West controls everything. Defy them, and you fall." "You chose surrender," Traoré said. "I chose struggle." He turned to the people. "This isn't about me. It's about you. Do you want a president who manages foreign interests, or one who defends your birthright?" The crowd erupted, not with rage but resolve. In the days that followed, France issued a vague apology for unauthorized diplomatic actions. Other African nations began reevaluating their own foreign military ties. 1 month later, at the military academy, Traoré addressed the next generation of leaders. "Loyalty is not to me, it is to our people. The greatest threat to our freedom isn't outside. It's the lie that we cannot stand on our own." He paused. "Reject that lie." Burkina Faso stood on the edge of betrayal, but its people chose sovereignty over surrender. If this story moved you, share it. Let the world know that Africa is waking up, that we're no longer for sale, Drop a comment with #RiseWithTraoré if you stand for freedom and African unity. And don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories they don't want you to hear.